Pranam and a very good evening to all the respected dignitaries. May I now, if your lordships permit, begin today's program. Thank you, your lordship. May I please request the Honorable Chief Guest and the Honorable dignitaries to kindly proceed to the dais. Honorable Mr. Justice AHSANUDDIN AMANULLAH, Judge, Supreme Court of India. Honorable Mr. Justice Chakradhari Saran Singh, JAD1, Patna High Court, Executive Chairman, BSLSA. Honorable Mr. Justice Anant Manohar Badar, JAD2, Patna High Court, Executive Chairman, Bihar Judicial Academy. Honorable Mr. Justice Ashutosh Kumar, Honorable Executive Chairman, High Court Legal Services Committee. Thank you, Lordship. To start on an auspicious note and to do the honors, may I now request the Chief Guest and the respected dignitaries on the dais to kindly light the lamp and seek the blessings of Almighty. May I please request the Chief Guest and respected dignitaries to proceed to the dais. Thank you, Lordship. Honorable Mr. Justice AHSANUDDIN AMANULLAH, Judge, Supreme Court of India, and respected Madam Mrs. Jeba Amanullah, Honorable Mr. Justice K. Vinod Chandran, Chief Justice, Patna High Court, Patron-in-Chief, BSLSA, and respected Madam Mrs. Lata K.U., Honorable Mr. Justice Chakradhari Saran Singh, JD1, Patna High Court, Executive Chairman, BSLSA, and respected Madam Mrs. Seema Singh, Honorable Mr. Justice Anant Manohar Badar, JD2, Patna High Court, Executive Chairman, Bihar Judicial Academy, Patna, and respected Madam Mrs. Harsa Anand Badar, Honorable Mr. Justice Ashutosh Kumar, Honorable Executive Chairman, High Court Legal Services Committee, and Madam Mrs. Dr. Tanuja, all the Honorable respected judges of Patna High Court and their respected spouses, respected Registrar General, Patna High Court, and officers from Registry, respected Secretary, Law Remembrance, Government of Bihar, and other officers from the Law Department, respected Member Secretary Balsa and officers of Balsa, respected Director, Bihar Judicial Academy, and officers from Bihar Judicial Academy, respected Districts and Sessions Judge Patna, all the respected officers from the prestigious Bihar Judicial Services who are connected with us virtually, a very good evening to everyone. I deem it to be a great honor and distinct privilege to welcome all the respected dignitaries on the dais, dignitaries of the dais, and those connected to us through the virtual platform to BSLSA for today's program, that is a discourse on legal aid and assistance, challenges and opportunities in India, and to felicitate our chief guest, respected Honorable Mr. Justice AHSANUDDIN AMANULLAH, Judge, Supreme Court of India, for his Lordship's elevation to the apex court of the nation. May I now request respected Member Secretary Balsa to kindly welcome our Chief guest, Honorable Mr. Justice AHSANUDDIN AMANULLAH, Judge Supreme Court of India, by presenting a sapling. May I also request respected Registrar Sir to kindly present the Balsa badge to our respected guests. May I now request respected Member Secretary Sir to kindly welcome Honorable Mr. Justice K. Vinod Chandran, Chief Justice Patna High Court, cum Patron-in-Chief Balsa, by presenting the sapling. May I request Member Secretary Sir Balsa to kindly welcome Honorable Mr. Justice Anant Manohar Badar, JD2, Patna High Court, cum Executive Chairman, Bihar Judicial Academy, by presenting the sapling. May I request respected Member Secretary Sir to kindly welcome Honorable Mr. Justice Ashutosh Kumar, Honorable Executive Chairman, High Court Legal Services Committee, by presenting the sapling. Thank you. May I now request respected Joint Secretary Madam Balsa to welcome respected Madam Jeba Amanullah by presenting a sapling. May I now request Assistant Registrar Madam to welcome Madam Latha KU by presenting a sapling. May I now request respected Member Secretary Sir to kindly welcome Honorable Mr. Justice Chakradhari Sharan Singh, JD1, Patna High Court, cum Executive Chairman, BSLSA, by presenting the sapling. Thank you, sir. I would now attract the kind attention of all the respected dignitaries towards the screen for the Nalsa song.
एहसास न्याय का सबके लिए, आकाश न्याय का सबके लिए, उल्लास न्याय का सबके लिए, विश्वास न्याय का सबके लिए, अपने इस हिंदुस्तान पर हक हमारा भी तो है, इंसाफ के इस आशिया पर हक हमारा भी तो है, एक मुट्ठी आसमां पर हक हमारा भी तो है, एक मुट्ठी आसमां पर हक हमारा भी तो है।
सोचो दर्द हमारा कहीं सुना न जाएगा, अब न्यायालय खुद चलकर चौपालों तक आएगा।
लाचारों को न्याय मिलेगा, दुखियारों को न्याय मिलेगा, कमजोरों को न्याय मिलेगा, मजलूमों पर हक हमारा भी तो है, उम्मीदों के इस गुलसिता पर हक हमारा भी तो है। एक मुट्ठी आसमां पर हक हमारा भी तो है, एक मुट्ठी आसमां पर हक हमारा भी तो है।
गरीब और कमजोरों को मुफ्त एवं सक्षम कानूनी सहायता के लिए प्रतिबद्ध विधिक सेवा प्राधिकरण नालसा, न्याय सबके लिए।
Thank you, Jwalaji. May I now request respected Member Secretary Sir BSLSA to kindly deliver the welcome address.
Honorable Mr. Justice AHSANUDDIN AMANULLAH, Judge Supreme Court of India, and His Lordship's spouse, Madam Jeba Amanullah. Honorable Mr. Justice K. Vinod Chandran, the Chief Justice, Patna High Court, cum Patron-in-Chief, Bihar State Legal Service Authority, and His Lordship's spouse, Madam Lata K.U. Honorable Mr. Justice Chakradhari Sharan Singh, JD1, Patna High Court, cum Executive Chairman, BSLSA, and His Lordship's spouse, Madam Seema Singh. Honorable Mr. Justice Anant Manohar Badar, JD2, Patna High Court, cum Chairman, Bihar Judicial Academy, Patna, and His Lordship's spouse, Madam Harsh Badar. Honorable Mr. Justice Ashutosh Kumar, Chairman, High Court Legal Services Committee, and His Lordship's spouse, Madam Dr. Tanuja. All the Honorable Judges of Patna High Court and their Lordship's spouse, Registrar General and other officers of Registry of the Patna High Court, the Secretary cum Legal Remembrancer, and other officers of the Law Department, Government of Bihar, the Director and other officers of Bihar Judicial Academy, the District Judge Patna, and all the officers present here, the officers of the Bihar State Legal Services Authority, and the officers, those who are connected with us virtually. Today marks a truly remarkable and unforgettable day for Bihar State Legal Service Authority, as we are honored to welcome my Lord, the Honorable Mr. Justice AHSANUDDIN AMANULLAH, Judge Supreme Court of India. With immense pleasure, we gather here for an enlightening discourse on legal aid and awareness, issues and challenges in India, and the felicitation ceremony organized as a mark of reverence. On behalf of BSLSA, I, Rajesh Narayan Sevak Pandey, Member Secretary, Bihar State Legal Services Authority, feel privileged to welcome and acknowledge the blessings of my Lord, Honorable Mr. Justice AHSANUDDIN AMANULLAH, Judge Supreme Court of India, and His Lordship's spouse, Madam Jeba Amanullah, who have been kind enough to spare valuable time for today's program. His Lordship's deep erudition of the principles of various branches of law illumines the legal firmament from which all of us seek ultimate light and guidance. Under His Lordship's exemplary leadership as the Executive Chairman, the Bihar State Legal Services Authority underwent a remarkable revitalization. This transformative effort paved the way for impactful programs organized by the legal services institutions in Bihar. With His Lordship's invaluable guidance, these programs achieved remarkable success within a short time frame. His Lordship's unwavering commitment to legal services and awareness programs has been a constant inspiration. With utmost respect and humility, I warmly welcome His Lordship and His Lordship's spouse as we gather today to commemorate. I feel privileged to welcome and acknowledge the blessings of my Lord, Honorable Mr. Justice K. Vinod Chandran, the Chief Justice, Patna High Court, cum Patron-in-Chief, Bihar State Legal Service Authority, and His Lordship's spouse, Madam Lata K.U. The indomitable motivation instilled by my Lord has propelled us forward, fostering a profound impact on the lives of those in need. It is with great pride and gratitude that in His Lordship's guidance we continue to strive for justice and equality for all. I am honored and humbled to welcome and acknowledge the kind blessings of Honorable Mr. Justice Chakradhari Sharan Singh, JAD1, Patna High Court, cum Executive Chairman, BSLSA, and His Lordship's spouse, Madam Seema Singh. Under the esteemed leadership of His Lordship, our journey has been filled with inspiration. His Lordship's visionary approach to the smooth functioning of the Bihar State Legal Service Authority has been a driving force for us all. I express my deepest gratitude for His Lordship's unwavering guidance. I would like to express my profound gratitude for the support and guidance of His Lordship, Honorable Mr. Justice Anant Manohar Badar, JD2, Patna High Court, cum Chairman, Bihar Judicial Academy, and His Lordship's spouse, Madam Harsh Badar. As a former Executive Chairman, His Lordship provided support and guidance in the smooth functioning of the BSLSA. It is a deep honor and privilege to have His Lordship's esteemed presence in this program today. It is my pleasure to welcome Honorable Mr. Justice Ashutosh Kumar, Chairman, High Court Legal Services Committee, and His Lordship's spouse, Madam Dr. Tanuja. His Lordship's profound expertise in the realm of the law has been serving as a constant source of inspiration and positivity. I warmly extend my heartfelt welcome to the esteemed judges of Honorable Judges of Patna High Court and their spouses. I also extend a warm welcome to the Registrar General and other officers of the Registry of Patna High Court, the Law Secretary, and other officers of the Law Department of the Government of Bihar, the Director and other officers of Bihar Judicial Academy, District Judge Patna, and all the officers present here and those connected with us virtually. The Legal Services Authorities Act 1987 established a nationwide network of the legal service institutions for marginalized sections. However, implementation gaps persist, leaving many without access to justice. To bridge this gap, an inclusive approach is essential. The discourse on legal aid and awareness aims to enhance Act implementation and provide comprehensive legal services. We strongly believe that the esteemed presence of their Lordships, along with their invaluable and enlightening words, will undoubtedly have a significant impact on shaping the future of the Bihar State Legal Services Authority. With utmost respect, I humbly request their Lordships to continue blessing us as we strive for greater achievements and success in the day to come. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. May I now, with utmost humility and respect, request Honorable Mr. Justice Ashutosh Kumar, Honorable Executive Chairman, High Court Legal Services Committee, to kindly begin the program by His Lordship's address.
A very good evening to all of you. Honorable Justice AHSANUDDIN, AMANULLAH, Judge Supreme Court of India, Madam Zeba, Honorable the Chief Justice, Justice Vinod Chandran, Madam Lata, if I think I'm correct in my memory, Honorable Justice Chakradhari Sharan Singh, and Madam Seema, Honorable Justice Anant Mohan Badar, JAD2, cum Chairman, Bihar Judicial Academy, and Madam Harsha. out of the quest for maintaining that continuity uh, to Dr. Tanuja also, and all the spouses of the honorable judges, all my dear brothers, family members of the honorable judges, the Registrar General and officers of the Registry, Patna High Court, Member Secretary and officers of the Bihar State Legal Services Authority, the Director of Bihar Judicial Academy, ladies and gentlemen. It's a matter of great privilege that Justice Amanullah, who was our leader here, has come from Supreme Court to tell us about the legal aid and awareness, a topic which he has that in his heart, and the discourse on this topic is an opportunity for us to take stock of our journey in the implementation of legal aid and awareness hitherto. Now, before deliberating on the issue, I extend my sincere thanks to him for gracing this occasion. He had been the executive chairman of BALSA. It is BSLSA, but it's a tongue twister, so I always refer to it as BALSA. He was the executive chairman of BALSA from 29th of November 2022 to 6th of February 2023. And as the executive chairman, he steered the legal aid and awareness movement of the BALSA to its next level through his own style of supervision and monitoring. He has a particular style. He is very strict, and at the same time he is very, very amiable, and he is accommodating. The BALSA has witnessed many remarkable changes during his tenure as executive chairperson. The orientation to serve public at large is the most remarkable outcome of his tenure. Now, let me go back to some history of the legal aid and legal services. Nathan Hecht, the Chief Justice of Supreme Court of Texas, in his famous article, The Twilight Zone, he has mentioned that justice for only those who can afford it is neither justice for all nor justice at all. The Magna Carta expressed in the Charter in 2015 AD rightly stated that to no man shall be denied justice, to no man shall be delayed. So these are the spirit under which the legal aid works, the Legal Services Authority operates. The legal aid movement and awareness dates back to 1851, when an enactment was introduced in France for providing legal assistance to the indigent. In Britain, the history of the organized efforts on the part of the state to provide legal services to the poor and needy dates back to 1944, when Lord Chancellor Viscount Simon appointed Rushcliffe Committee to inquire about the facilities existing in England and Wales for giving legal advice to the poor and to make recommendations as appeared to be desirable for ensuring that persons in need of legal advice are provided the same by the state. Legal aid has a close relationship with the welfare state, and the provision of legal aid by a state is influenced by attitudes towards welfare. In India, the contribution of Honorable Justice Krishna Iyer towards the development and incorporation of the concept of legal aid in the Indian legal system has been tremendous. But he has also referred to the decision of Gideon versus Wainwright in US in the year 1963. Now this was a case where Gideon, the accused, he had broken into a bar in Panama City. He was arrested, put to trial, and he did not have the money sufficient enough to engage a lawyer. He wanted one. He asked for a lawyer from the judge. The judge refused. Now he was convicted and sentenced for 5 years. He went to Florida jail. In Florida jail, there is a good library where detainees, where the convicts would go. And there in the library, while reading books, he came across an article which told him that he has a right to Sixth Amendment to a counsel. So he wrote back from jail to the judge who had tried him and the Chief Justice of Texas Supreme Court. There they have different Supreme Courts, and the US Supreme Court is the apex body. But that was refused by the Texas Supreme Court. Then he wrote to the US Supreme Court, which agreed to hear him on this issue. And then the majority of the judges held that according to Sixth Amendment, everybody has a right to a counsel. And then he was afforded a counsel and he was given a fresh trial where he was acquitted. But to tell you a fact, he resumed his activities, his habits, and ultimately died of cancer, and his family also did not give him that respect during his lifetime. Nonetheless, there was an effort to provide a counsel to him. This was one of the most important of the cases which was taken as a precedent by all the jurisdictions in the world. In 1971, Justice Bhagwati, in his report in Free Legal Aid, had observed that even while retaining the adversarial system, some changes may be effected whereby the judge is given greater participatory role in the trial so as to place poor as far as possible on a footing of equality with rich in the administration of justice. Now, India is a pluralistic, multicultural democracy with a commitment to the constitutional mandate of strengthening democracy, particularly at grassroots level. In pursuance of its larger goal of institutionalizing the fundamental rights of its citizens, the 73rd and 74th Constitutional Amendment Acts have been passed on rural and urban local governments, and simultaneously series of other legal instruments have been introduced, such as Right to Information Act and other women and child protection laws. However, despite the implementation of such measures, a majority of the population, particularly those residing in rural areas, remain socially and legally handicapped due to lack of awareness. Hence, in order to empower citizens, especially rural residents, and to assure them of their rights, it's imperative to enhance their legal literacy levels. Increased levels of social and legal awareness amongst marginalized sections of the society will ensure equal access to justice for all social groups and consequently the holistic development of the country. Our understanding is very little about the lives of poor. This is a fact. They lack access to justice. But why? Because the law is complex and expensive. The access to justice, some of the lawyers and jurists and thinkers, they have referred to it as access to justice crisis. Now, this is bigger than the law and the lawyers. Now, it's a crisis of exclusion and inequality. We at BSLSA, we endeavor to resolve it. Lawyers must be available early and often in the legal process so that they can provide assistance for the full scope of their clients' legal problems and prevent further legal troubles. Pro bono assistance also by private attorneys is an important adjunct of legal aid, and this is effectively being done. Legal aid awareness on the key issues affecting grassroots populations such as child abuse, seeking information through RTI, legal benefits and entitlements, discrimination at work, discrimination with respect to payment, domestic violence, marriage-related issues, local disputes, property and land disputes, free legal aid, and assistance rendered by the legal service institutions in the actualization has to be and is being considered on priority, and we are making considerable efforts towards that. Certain measures, this is just my musings. These areas need some proactive efforts of all of us with your dynamic leadership. Certain measures like teaching relevant laws to the concerned groups by accurately identifying the target groups, say for instance juveniles, prisoners, working women and different caste groups amongst others at different places and at different points of time. Conducting customized legal literacy programs, training on legal and judicial process to marginalized, etc. would be very, very helpful. To maximize legal literacy and to promote legal awareness amongst the rural poor, it is imperative to encourage the participation of civil society organizations, the NGOs, and other social groups and networks. Paralegal volunteers, again, they play a very, very crucial role, and they do need counseling, they do need training. And if they are provided intensive professional training for 5-6 months, they would be in a better position to provide legal literacy to others as paralegal professionals. The e-legal forums such as Tele Law and other such facilities is also a great initiative in the direction for providing training and offering solutions to people's legal problems. We are sure Justice Amanullah, with his wide-ranging experience, will tell us how to make it more robust, and he would give suggestions on which we shall work forward. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you, Lordship. May I now, with utmost humility and respect, request Honorable Mr. Justice Chakradhari Sharan Singh, JAD 1, Patna High Court, come Executive Chairman, BSLSA, to kindly address the gathering. Lordship.
Honorable Mr. Justice AHSANUDDIN AMANULLAH, Judge Supreme Court of India, Honorable Justice Mr. Justice K. Vinod Chandran, the Chief Justice Patna High Court, Honorable Mr. Justice Badar, Mr. Justice Ashutosh Kumar, Madam Zeba Amanullah, Madam Lata, Madam Seema Singh, Madam Badar, Dr. Tanuja, Honorable Brother Judges and their spouses, the Member Secretary Balsa, the Registrar General, the Director Bihar Judicial Academy, the officers of Bihar State Legal Service Authority, members of Patna High Court Registry, the judicial officers present here, and those who have joined this program online. Justice AHSANUDDIN AMANULLAH has immense affection for me and faith in me. So when I went to invite him for this function, he readily accepted and gave me a liberty to select a topic of my choice for him to address. This is how I have selected the topic. The focus of the topic is aid and awareness. The initials of Honorable Mr. Justice AHSANUDDIN AMANULLAH stand for aid and awareness. And this A with Z of Madam Zeba, A to Z. I am deeply obliged for the gesture shown by Honorable Mr. Justice. He did not think even for a second while accepting my invitation. As has been told by Brother Ashutosh Kumar, he has his own way of, I don't know whether he has or not, but he had his own way of administration. Strict, soft, and compassionate, affectionate. I consider it to be impudence on my part now to tell anything about Honorable Mr. Justice AHSANUDDIN Amanullah to this gathering, everyone knows. Now coming to the topic, it's a constitutionally recognized, the topic is legal aid awareness, challenges and opportunities in India. I had committed a mistake because I had forgotten to acknowledge the fact that Honorable Mr. Justice Amanullah has international exposure on the legal aid and awareness. It is a constitutionally recognized principle of the state policy under Article 39A of the Constitution of India that the state shall secure that operation of legal system promotes justice on a basis of equal opportunity and shall in particular provide free legal aid by suitable legislation or scheme to ensure that the opportunities for securing justice are not denied to any citizen by reason of economic and other disabilities. The Legal Services Authorities Act 1987 is in deference to the directive principles of state policy under Article 39A of the Constitution of India. We do have a vision by way of constitutional provision and the enactment for providing free legal aid to promote justice, to ensure that opportunities for securing justice are not denied to any citizen by reason of economic and other disabilities. The constitutional scheme and the pious wish of the legislature shall remain on papers only unless the people are made aware not only of their legal rights and remedies, but also of the fact that there is an institution to provide free legal aid. It is in that context we need to address not only the issues and challenges before us for generating legal awareness, but also the opportunities which legislation has provided to us to meet the challenges. Today's topic, in my opinion, assumes significance in that background. Access to justice is a basic human right, and it exists unless taken away under any valid exercise of statutory or constitutional power by the legislature. The word access in itself signifies a right to move towards remedy. It is one of the prime obligations of the state to provide legal aid to the poor, indigent and marginalized, and it is in their right guaranteed under the Constitution of India to demand and avail. One of the most potential challenges is that there is general lack of awareness of availability of free legal aid. Further, there is a perception that free service is incompatible with quality service. There are not enough lawyers delivered by the legal services authorities, and lawyers generally are uninterested to provide competent legal assistance because of financial constraints. This is the perception. There are instances where the lawyers assigned to provide legal aid and paid with public funds do not faithfully represent their clients, casting serious doubt on the credibility of the scheme of legal aid provided to the weaker sections of the society. Some lawyers engaged by the legal aid committees hold their clients' cases. Some of the lawyers have been found seeking money from many innocent beneficiary litigants, though they are supposed to get their fee from the legal aid committees. The functionaries charged with the duties of carrying out the statutory purpose of legal aid need to keep in mind that legal aid is not a charity but is an obligation of the state and right of citizens. The focus of legal aid is on distributive system, effective implementation of welfare benefits, and elimination of social and structural discrimination against the poor. The legal aid strives to ensure that constitutional place is fulfilled in its letter and spirit, and equal justice is made available to the downtrodden and weaker sections of the society. We should not hesitate in accepting that there is a huge gap between the goals which we set and those which we meet in reality. I had made an attempt to understand the challenge by visiting one of the remotest villages of the state, and I was utterly dismayed to find that the villagers who were made to participate in a meeting organized by this authority were totally ignorant of any system for their welfare. One of the greatest challenges which I genuinely feel which is there before us is that we need to make the people aware of the fact that we, the legal services authority and the committees constituted under the Act, enjoined with the duties to provide them free legal aid at times advice exist. In fact, when I had visited one of the remotest village of Babua, Adhora, there were 200 to 250 people present. And I wanted to know from them, who am I? And they were not, some of them said you are the district magistrate, some of them said you are superintendent of police, but they were not knowing what for had they come, what for the everything was organized. This is completely ignorant, illiterate people. They don't know these schemes, they don't know anything about what is being done for them. One of the greatest challenges, therefore, in my opinion, is that we need to tell them that they might not be knowing about their rights, but whenever they feel any problem, any difficulty, they must have some forum known to them to approach. Our existence has to be informed to the masses, to the persons who need help. I am thankful, sir, to you again. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Lordship. May I now request Honorable Mr. Justice K. Vinod Chandran, Chief Justice, Patna High Court, Patron-in-Chief, BSLSA, to kindly address the gathering.
Honorable Justice AHSANUDDIN AMANULLAH, Madam Siba. Justice AHSANUDDIN AMANULLAH is our chief guest today, and we have special invitees in Madam Siba and Mr. Harib, his son, Justice Chakradari Sharan Singh, Executive Chairman Balsa, Justice Badar, Justice Ashutosh Kumar, Madam Seema Singh, Madam Harsha Badal, Madam Tanuja, my brothers on the bench and their families. I can't get all their names, sorry. The officers of the registry, the officers of the Judicial Academy, the Law Secretary, the District Judge Patna, the Registrar General, ladies and gentlemen. When I heard the Nalsa song, I was taken back to the times when I was Executive Chairman of KELSA, Kerala Legal Services Authority. I never tired of saying that that is the prayer song for the persons who are associated with legal services. In fact, before I was associated with the legal services and also the alternate dispute resolution systems, I was very skeptical about it. What were we judges doing with all this paralegal work? Is it not the time? Is not the time to be spent on judicial work? Was my constant refrain. Only when I got associated with these systems, especially the legal services system, that I realized there could be justice done even outside the courtrooms, on the streets, on the grounds, and anywhere for that matter. This realization was a great eye-opener for me when I was in the Legal Services Authority. And I can vouch for the fact that the past few years, when we specially had, Justice Amanullah would also remember that, the Pan-India Outreach Program, that gave a renewed impetus to the Legal Services Authority. It is in this context that the subject today assumes relevance. Aid and awareness, challenges and opportunities in India. I come from one of the most literate states. But still, literacy is no yardstick for awareness. Our first duty as judges and as persons of the legal services authorities is to bring about awareness of the rights of persons. If that can be said out of Kerala, you know, in Bihar, it assumes more relevance. The disparity is more, the literacy is less, and in that context, the duty of the legal services authorities assumes more relevance. I would not say more about it because you have Justice Amanullah to speak to you of this, and he has a real pan-Indian experience. He was in Bihar, he is aware of the conditions of Bihar, and he was in the south, in Andhra Pradesh, where also he was executive chairman of the Legal Services Authority. I know you are anxiously waiting to hear him, and I would not take more of your time. But before I stop, let me once again thank Justice AHSANUDDIN Amanullah, Madam Siba and Arif for giving this opportunity to honor you and also the privilege of hearing you. Thank you.
Thank you, Lordship. May I now, with utmost humility and reverence, request our Chief Guest, Honorable Mr. Justice AHSANUDDIN Amanullah, Judge, Supreme Court of India, to kindly enlighten us with his Lordship's address.
Very good evening to everybody. Brothers, Honorable the Chief Justice Chandran, Patron-in-Chief of Bihar Legal Services Authority, Justice Brother Chakradhari Sharan Singh, JD1 come Chairman of the Bihar State Legal Services Authority, Justice A.M. Badar, Chairperson of the Chairman of the Judicial Academy, Bihar Judicial Academy, Brother Ashutosh Kumar, Chairperson of the High Court Legal Services Committee. And I'll break protocol here. I'll first address these spouses because they are suffering us. They have no idea what legal services is. Just come here at invitation. So thank you. I'll play safe my wife Zeba, Madam Lata. You committed a faux crime. You didn't address. So I apologize on his behalf and I make it up. Madam Seema, Madam Badar, Madam Tanuja, and all the lovely spouses, my brother judges, my son Arif, Varun, the registry, legal service authorities, officers, member secretary, registrar general, the law secretary, and the entire legal fraternity which is here. all old faces, all new, known faces. Really very good to be here, and I feel humbled. I know it's difficult to express the attachment here because I practiced here, I got elevated, and for some time I went to Andhra, and now to Delhi. So, though this has been a very long duration, after which I have come, which is very unusual for Delhi and Patna are very close, but because of the tremendous commitment and pressure, I thought it would be very easy for me once in a while, every week, or at least once 2 weeks I can come here, but it's not possible, practically not possible. But the slightest opportunity, and Brother Chakradhari is giving very generous with coming with offers to come to Patna. And I don't have, in fact I feel very nice that at least that way I am committed that I will take spare time and come to Patna. Otherwise on the own you think, okay, that's next door, you go home once in a while. But anyway, coming to the point, sometimes it's very easy to be the last speaker when everybody has covered everything. Thankfully, Brother Ashutosh has covered it very academically. Brother Chakradhari with his personal experience, and Brother Chandran, because he is really a man, intrinsically he is very, very well positioned, heading the Kerala Legal Society for 2 years. So that continuity gives you something which you can really fall back upon. And these institutions need people who have real insight, who can really push it forward. I have no doubt that he is the best person for Bihar, because as he said that in Kerala, which is a highly literate state, when that is the ignorance, you can imagine what is in Bihar. And Brother Chakradhari just told us about the level of that. They didn't even know what the function they had come for. What to talk of any other thing. And yes, by Brother Judges, I will say something to motivate you and what is the way forward. But let me take, because I don't think I'll have an opportunity again to address the spouses. Why don't you all support this cause? I think you'll have a cause for this. I've been a votary that all of you can start from home. At least I'll tell you one thing, how this, it was an idea which I tried to implement in Andhra Pradesh. Here my stint was very short and there was too much of load. By the time I could focus and think, small things, you can get into groups, you could go to institutions like child homes. Your mere presence going there, and then because you are in a very privileged position to motivate your husband. So that is the privileged position where even nobody can come close. So your inputs, I tell you what happened a few years back. One of the attendants who used to work, lady, she came, the son had run away with some girl and they had lodged in a fire and things like that, didn't know what to do, where to go and all. So that is the level what Justice Brother Chakradhari was saying. You can start from your home, your relatives, your friends, somebody who is totally at a loss. They just come to you because you are connected with the judiciary, your spouse is as a judge, whatever, and they just expect something from you. So you can be the first level of really starting that literacy movement. One person being made literate has a tremendous effect. It's like setting a wave. It ripple goes down and on and on. So you could act then, and I would request my brother judges to listen to what they have to say and implement on that. Don't just listen on a cup of tea and then forget in the morning. That is, please, I think it will be a good opportunity for you also to come, and it is a very satisfying position, and the compassion which women have, obviously it's something God has gifted to them. So you can be in a better position to really reach out, especially in Bihar. So kindly come forward, have joined 2-3 of you, just take your time, go to a remand home, now it is called a protection home and all, whatever. Do that, anything which you come, just pass it on. Coming to the topic, legal aid and awareness, challenges and opportunities. the moment you say challenges, it means there is something which needs a little bit of a fighting. It's a challenge, so you have to prepare yourself mentally. I would just soften it up to make it easy. It's an opportunity. Challenges and opportunities can be clubbed together. Two facets of opportunities. One is the opportunity to work, and one is the opportunity to be part of the process of development. Sometimes you have to be proactive to the level of the extent that you have to lead from the front and actually be there. And sometimes your motivation at your level, I know as High Court judges, I am addressing High Court judges, at your level in your districts, you are the inspecting judge. Little bit concentration on the District Legal Services Authority. I know when I joined, as inspecting judges, we had absolutely no role with the District Legal Services Authority. It was only administrative with regard to what was there. The legal services are totally at the periphery. We didn't even need to discuss, nothing doing. But I even, in Bihar, I tried to involve everybody, and I think it is being carried forward. In Andhra Pradesh, I had got some time, and there, because the state was new, everything was new. We did not have a building, we had 2-3 personnel, and there legal services authority means holding of 4 national local adalats. That was all legal services, nobody knew. But then suddenly when we started getting involved, the local issues, it snowballed, and every day there was so much of involvement that we had to really give more personnel to the legal services authority. The district administration started helping because it helped them on the law and order front. I tell you, in Tirupati, I'll just share one thing, will just give you an idea. In Tirupati, there was a very special problem. The problem was that young boys and girls used to elope. Now it became a real problem. That was one of the basic disputes there. It was not only caste, inter-religion, even same, but they just used to run away. Colleges and all, it was a major issue. Lot of things used to crop up, family tension, police cases, things like that. So we ran a special drive only for the one counseling only for the kids to explain what is expected, and then one for the parents. And then we got people involved, the professionals who could come and tell them. So that eased a lot. Then human trafficking. How a person who is perceived to be an accused becomes the victim himself. One person in Andhra Pradesh, there is a craze for going to the USA. He goes to the USA through a travel agent, he sells some land, lakhs and lakhs are given, he lands up there, he is promised that, look here, this is your degree, this is what, and this is the job you will get. Now when he lands up, he is made to go to a gas station, and then when he objects, he said, look here, you've come on a forged certificate, if you tell them, you will be arrested here. He said, okay, I'll go back, at least I'll go back, I'll learn something. You can't go back. The moment you go back, your degree, Indian degree, is also a fake degree. He doesn't know, he has just given the money. So both, he doesn't have anywhere to go. This was an eye-opener, how people are victims of the circumstances. They are not aware of anything. I went to USA, Washington. We went to it's called the Supreme Court, New York Supreme Court. There the judges were there in New York. I found that there were 5-6 cases of those nature. I told the judges there, I said, look here, this is one aspect you have to consider. They are basically victims and they cannot go, you can't even deport them. If you deport them there, and here the law is so literally blind, you have to suffer. In Bihar you will get cases of these fake degrees and all. Yes, there may be some complicity, but these people, they just give money, they get something, they don't know how they have got. They think that maybe it is a legal process. By giving money, I just skip the time, I don't have to go give an exam, or just go give an exam. That is the awareness they have to have. That look here, if this is illegal, no matter what money you give, it will always be an illegal and you will have to take the liability. That type of sensitivity is not there. It is basically, I would call, innocence. They are not very shrewd or cunning. They don't give the idea. The idea is given by the person who is conning them. So how do you get over that? These formalities, and I'm very bad at very formal speech or giving a very academic speech. Thank you once again, Brother Ashutosh, that you've taken cover of all the formal backgrounds and the niceties of all this topic today. I don't have to repeat all that. But yes, and now, okay, you get the problem. Now what to do? I keep telling everybody, one step at a time. You are head of a district, devise, and I request Brother Chakradhari and Honorable the Chief Justice as Patron-in-Chief and the Chairman, that the inspecting judges should have the liberty to formulate policies specifically for that district. Yes, there are some NALSA guidelines, there may be some BALSA guidelines, state, which are to be implemented, but give them the opportunity. Let 80% of the schemes, the drive, let that be decided at the very district level, local level, so that it is very specific to them, and that is what is needed. Like tribals need another type of an approach. Labor, there are factories, there are laborers who don't know anything about their rights and all. They need another. Every district should have its own. That is how you can't have a pan-India. I am telling you why, because after going to Hyderabad, and now I am a little bit taking interest in NALSA also. So now I know what is the picture emerging. It is very different. NALSA broadly formulates a principle when it says lot of inputs are coming from there. And again, I would request, keep sending your reports to NALSA. The more reports, because we only send formal reports. That is the normal trend all over India. We send very formal reports, what is asked for. You keep giving your inputs, so that NALSA is able to formulate that and then take it into the picture and then come out. So you can't blame NALSA that look here, they don't formulate. They are not aware of it. You make them aware. You give your reports. You say that this is what we have come, and this probably would also be required to be taken a national view perspective. You filter it. Your mere presence going there is a tremendous boost. The whole machinery is activated, right from the level of the local administration, your judiciary, and everybody is interested to work. The only thing is that we don't know. I am reiterating what Brother Chandran said, that he was a skeptic. I was also a very big skeptic. I say it's a total waste. Why should judges get involved? The government has formed a legislation, and unnecessarily they put a judge. We should have said no right at the beginning. Why should we take this extra? But then you see the tremendous satisfaction. Judicial satisfaction is one side. You are bound by law and everything, but here you are totally free to implement what you think is just, correct, and what is required at the ground level. So that kind of freedom you don't have anywhere with this. And another, I would say, it's a myth. Myth within inverted commas. It may not be a myth, it may be. On paper, in book, it is only the executive chairman and the patron-in-chief. But as judges, as inspecting judges, or any other judge of this district courts, everybody can contribute, everybody can have a direct role. Nobody is excluded. Somebody was saying that you are a very votary of this legal services. Now, where all you can interfere? How can you make a difference? I said, I'll put you a counter. You tell me what is there, and I said whether it is yes or no. Let me count how much no I say. I said, whatever you think comes under. Be it child affairs, be it labor, be it old persons, be it getting a job, even getting a work certificate, a birth certificate, everywhere NALSA is involved. You have legal, paralegal volunteers to help. You have a panel of lawyers. Everything and anything and everything is under that, except for the very strict judicial or administrative matters. So that is the reach. There is absolutely no, and fund is not a problem. I think even in Bihar, we have excess funds we can't spend, and that is, I went to Andhra, there was about 17 crores lying in the victims relief fund. people were there, destitutes were there, victims were there, survivors were there. They were not getting 17 crores just lying. So we cannot have any excuse why it should not be done. The only thing is everything takes a little bit of a personal effort. That personal effort is the key to succeeding in these things. Because here formal boundaries have to be tested, have to be crossed. You have to go into a region where it is unknown, uncharted territory. It is, your imagination is your only limit. But yes, one step at a time, have a target of one or two things. You get inputs. You have a target of one or two things and then give it to your DLSs. That look here, in 1 month, in my next visit, what would be your report? I think it will make a tremendous, and why I am saying this, in hindsight, it may be a boon for us that the government has made a senior judge the executive chairman of the legal services, because that way the judiciary earns respect and faith, because they know that it is something connected with the judiciary, and whatever benefit they get, it has an effect in increasing their faith in the judiciary, in the judicial process. So the image of the judiciary is increased. So let us use that. Where we feel handicapped, we may be handicapped that we cannot just play as a Santa Claus, award 1 lakh compensation. And this side, to the Legal Services Authority, you have funds. You may have a case, you get compensation, lot of things you can help. Schemes, government has that, you have to channelize all those funds. So you can be really, really very effective. And all my brother judges, I've interacted with them and I've known it's been a beautiful experience, and I'm sharing it with the Honorable the Chief Justice that 70% of my strength came from my brothers. They were so enthusiastic in whatever I discussed, it made me more committed, more determined. And I think you have a very good team, touchwood, full, and with your experience and the hardcore commitment to know and to really deliver makes a difference. I tell you why a person who has gone through would be easy. Suppose you get a chief who has not held this position for some time. He'll be very good, he'll be very broad-minded, but then he will require time. He will say, pros and cons, whether a proposal comes, even the executive chairman, whether a proposal comes, if you've not been associated, how much I can go, because straight away as judges we think, how much is our legal limit? We should not break any rules. This inbuilt, inherent safeguard in us, I'll not say it's negative, it's safeguard, delays the process. And the moment something is delayed, the effect goes. By the time file pushes, that impact, what you do quickly, the impact is more. He gets same thing, but he will not feel that something has really changed in his life. There is a system which is a life support, quick in these days. So that is the key, and I'm really very, very confident that with the experience the Honorable Chief Justice brings with him, the commitment, and as he said that he also realized how important it is, the combination of your chief and brother Chakradhari, and we've been exchanging notes a lot. Justice Chakradhari has been kind enough, whenever we visit, we talk about what to do now in the legal services, how to take it, and he went to Azora and all, very encouraging and getting real feedbacks from the ground level. So that is something, I would now rephrase it, the challenge is for you to identify where you have to concentrate. That is the challenge. Nothing else is a challenge. You have the manpower, you have the money, you have the infrastructure, you have government support, you have the support at the state level, both from a Chief Justice, everybody. The challenge is where to start and what to do. That is the challenge. The moment you pick even one topic, it is wide enough and very satisfying, and it will make a difference. I will not detain you because we have now to go to the High Court, and I am really very thankful for to all of you for giving me this opportunity so that I could come back, because otherwise it is very difficult that even if I am a private spirit, now I just cannot walk in and just spend some time. So unless I am invited, so I am really very humbled and thankful, and especially the madams who, and yes, now I should tell that after going I see what connection my wife had with all of you. It shows the way she passionately talks about all of you, that bond. It's really very heartening. This is how families are made. And I keep saying that relationships are made forever. It may start on some formal note where you are sharing a bench or you're in the same high court. There is a starting point, but once relationships are there, I think that is how it becomes a lifelong affair. That is how the human system works, the human ecosystem works. Thank you all. And my brother judges, thank you so much for being connected with me and always considering me as an elder brother. And I should confess that sometimes I may not have come up to your expectation, or I might not have agreed to what you have said, but the beauty of the system is that we have to agree to disagree, and then the only condition I say that listen to the other point of view, take your own decision. In that, don't have any, but at least listen to the other point of view. That makes the other person also feel easy. You can have more cooperation. And I have no doubt that as you have been so cooperative with me, you will give your full support to the Honorable Chief Justice. And you have already started giving. And the response from this side is also very positive. I am very thrilled in that sense that the institution is safe in the hands of my brothers and the Honorable Chief Justice. So we just have to carry it forward, make it more effective, and more effective not only in perception but at the ground also. So thank you so much once again. All the best to you, and we are connected and will always remain connected. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you, Lordship. It's always an honor and a privilege to hear your Lordship's inspiring and engaging address. May I now request Honorable Mr. Justice K. Vinod Chandran, Chief Justice, Patna High Court, Compatron-in-Chief, BSLSA, to kindly felicitate our Chief Justice, Chief Guest, Honorable Mr. Justice AHSANUDDIN Amanullah, Judge, Supreme Court of India, by presenting a stole and a memento.
Before, I am very sorry. One thing which struck me is that probably all plastics are gone. The bottles, the things, and everything. Brother Chakadari apprised me that this was a deliberate, it was not very innocuous. So everything is now being translated what we say outside. So I think Justice Badar can replicate that in the Judicial Academy also. Thank you.
May I now request Honorable Mr. Justice K. Vinod Chandran, Chief Justice, Patna High Court, Compatron-in-Chief, BSLSA, to kindly felicitate our Chief Guest, Honorable Mr. Justice AHSANUDDIN Amanullah, Judge, Supreme Court of India, by presenting a stole and a memento. Thank you, Lordship. May I now request respected Madam Lata KU to kindly felicitate Madam Jeba Amanullah by presenting a stole and a small gift. Thank you, ma'am. May I now request Honorable Mr. Justice Chakradhari Sharan Singh, JAD1, Patna High Court, cum Executive Chairman, BSLSA, to kindly felicitate Honorable Mr. Justice K. Vinod Chandran, Chief Justice, Patna High Court, cum Patron-in-Chief, BSLSA, by presenting a stole and a memento. Thank you, Lordship. May I now request respected Madam Seema Singh to kindly felicitate Madam Lata KU by presenting a stole and a small gift. Thank you, ma'am. May I now request respected Member Secretary BSLSA to kindly felicitate Honorable Mr. Justice Chakradhari Sharan Singh, JAD1, Patna High Court, cum Executive Chairman BSLSA, by presenting a stole and a memento. Thank you, sir. May I now request respected Member Secretary BSLSA to kindly felicitate Honorable Mr. Justice Anant Manohar Badar, JD2, Patna High Court, cum Executive Chairman, Bihar Judicial Academy, Patna, by presenting a stole and a memento. Thank you, sir. I also request respected Member Secretary BSLSA to kindly felicitate Honorable Mr. Justice Ashutosh Kumar, Honorable Executive Chairman, High Court Legal Services Committee, by presenting a stole and a memento. Thank you, sir. May I now request respected Joint Secretary Madam, BSLSA, to kindly propose the vote of thanks. Ma'am.
A very good evening to all the dignitaries on the dais and off the dais, and all those who are attending us through virtual mode. On behalf of Bihar State Legal Service Authority, I, Dhriti Jasleen Sharma, Joint Secretary, feel honored to propose vote of thanks to all the dignitaries for participating in today's discourse on legal aid and awareness, challenges and opportunities in India. I feel privileged to extend heartfelt gratitude to our Chief Guest, Honorable Mr. Justice AHSANUDDIN AMANULLAH, Judge, Supreme Court of India, and respected Zeba Amanullah and their son for gracing today's events. Thank you, Lordship and Madam and your son for accepting our invitation and being hear us with today. Your thoughts has always truly inspired us. It's always an excellent opportunity to listen to His Lordship's views on legal services. We are truly blessed that His Lordship has always guided us like a guide and mentor. With his vast experience as Executive Chairman of APSLSA, Bihar State Legal Service Authority and Chairperson Patna High Court Legal Service Authority, today's Lordship has specifically encouraged all the madams to kindly participate in the legal service authorities programs and give us their valuable contribution. Lordship have also said that the key to achieve these objectives is the personal effort. Unless and until you don't put personal efforts, and Lordship have always guided us to put that your personal effort to any legal service authority. Thank you, Lordships. Thank you, ma'am, for gracing this occasion. It means a lot to us. On behalf of BALSA, I am gratefully thankful to Honorable Mr. Justice K. Vinod Chandran, Chief Justice, Patna High Court, cum Patron-in-Chief, Bihar State Legal Service Authority, and Mrs. Lata for gracing this presence. We are indeed, it's a moment of utmost pleasure that Lordships and Madam has visited BALSA for the first time. And Lordship has shared his experience as Executive Chairman of Kerala Legal Service Authority, and Lordships have specifically emphasized that that the public at large is the main to which the legal services should be imparted. I am thankful to Honorable Mr. Justice Chakradhari Sharan, JD1, cum Executive Chairman, Bihar State Legal Service Authority, and respected Mrs. Seema Singh for their presence to this program. BALSA and DALSAs are able to achieve our goals as Lordships is taking his valuable time in all the activities of BALSA from his hectic schedule from the High Court as judicial and administrative side also. His Lordship has also guided us with his words of encouragement and emphasized on the constitutional rights and towards the legal services, and it's important. Lordships have emphasized on the quality legal services, and he has shared his experience when he visited to a tribal area where the actual need of legal services was felt, and he emphasized all the DLSs to come to this. And Lordship have made also a platform where all the SPs and DMs are also connected through a mode on WhatsApp group. So this way we are able to connect all the participants of legal services, and today everybody is connected virtually to this program. I also extend our heartfelt gratitude to Honorable Mr. Justice A.M. Badar, JD2, Patna High Court cum Chairman, Bihar Judicial Academy, and respected Mrs. Harsha Badar for their gracious presence in today's event. I am thankful to Honorable Mr. Justice Ashutosh Kumar, Judge Patna High Court, cum Chairperson, Patna High Court Legal Service Committee, and respected Mrs. Tanuja for their gracious presence in today's program. Lordships always share some unique and international examples regarding every topic. Let it be child rights, let it be POXO, any Lordship have always a treasure to give us with his exemplary thoughts and unknown facts which nobody can even search from the Google. And Lordships have always give us motivated all the legal services to do the best. A special and big thank to all the honorable judges of Patna High Court and their spouses for accepting our invitation and gracing this occasion with their presence. It is a moment of great pleasure for all for BALSA. I extend my gratitude to respected Registrar General Sir and all the members of Registry for extending their help and support for participating in today's event and extending their support to organize dinner arrangements at Judges Lounge of Patna High Court. I also extend my thanks to respected Law Secretary Sir, Special Secretary Sir, and other officers of Law Department for attending today's program. I would also thank respected District and Session Judge Patna for participating in today's event program. I would thank respected Director Sir and all the respected members of the Directorate of Bihar Judicial Academy for attending today's program. I would be failing in my duty if I don't thank respected Member Secretary Sir for his all efforts and all pain he has taken to make this program a huge success, and all the officers of BALSA who have really worked hard and made this event possible. I am really thankful to all the judicial officers and all the members of DLSs for attending this, who are connected virtually to this program, and special thanks to IPRD for providing us the platform. I would like to thank once again all of you present here for making this time with us and helping us to make this event a grand success. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. We have reached to the end of the program. Now, with the permission of the chair, I would request all the respected dignitaries to kindly rise up for the national anthem.
शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तब जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Thank you. Now, if your lordship give permission, we would bring the program to an end. Thank you so much, everyone, and pranam once again. Thank you.